So most people wait until they're supervisors before using it. Usually you only have to hold out for a year at most.
There's definitely a reason Section Chief Lee Jae-hyun considered this useful, even though it costs points. Even though he's known for relying mostly on brute force, I figured his instincts are sharp too. If a high survival rate employee gave special advice, it's probably the right decision to follow it. If investing 1,000 points could increase my survival rate early on, that would be the right call, though my hands are shaking a bit.
But first, you know you need existing equipment to put in, right? Something with useful abilities to use as a genetic marker.
I'd already confirmed that in this Ghost Stories exploration records.
Exploration Record 05. Employee N inserted a tumbler and a backpack. The tumbler was a special item. Liquid poured after sunrise doesn't empty until sunset. Owned by Section Chief Choi something, while the backpack had no special attributes. Seed result. Backpack. Special attribute. Similar abilities to the tumbler, but empties after dispensing more than 87 liters of liquid.
Don't worry! When a squad member is creating their first custom equipment, there's a tradition where someone from the squad lends them their equipment for free once.
Yeah, but it's just one item, not both. For the other one, you have to either use your own stuff or pay to borrow it. And, well, the squad leader's equipment is the best among us.
As expected, he's the boss here.
If you wouldn't mind, could I see your equipment, squad leader?
The lizard pulled something out of his pocket. It was a small, ash-colored knife.
This is a butter knife. If you cut the medium for entering the darkness, it tears the space, allowing the transfer of small items.
This is the equipment you used when you threw the AAA battery, isn't it?
I looked at the butter knife with newfound appreciation. I was hoping for some defense-related equipment, but I guess that's not easily found. Though a bit disappointed, none of the higher-ups' equipment seemed to be defense-related either. There was one for tricks, one for communication, and that's about it. If push comes to shove, I can probably get something with a similar effect from the alien shop.
So, you'll put the squad leader's equipment in?
Out of courtesy, I bowed my head.
Thank you, squad leader.
Section Chief Lee Jae-hyun gave a slight nod and approached the machine. On the old LCD screen, some archaic-looking text appeared. I watched as the squad leader placed his equipment into the machine to scan its genetic information.
Plant information stored.
Now you just need to put in the other item you want. Oh, wait a second.
If this machine isn't completely weird, most things will work. But there's just one thing that doesn't.
Do not insert actual plants.
Whatever you do, don't literally give it plants, even though it's asking for them. The sensor at the door filters out all plants anyway, but I'm just telling you to be safe.
Now that my eyes had adjusted to the darkness, I could see the nature of the overgrown weeds around us. They were all fake, artificial plants. One exploration record came to mind.
Exploration Record 14. Irregular. Employee R picked weeds, presumably dandelions, growing near the darkness and inserted them into the machine twice. As a result, something burst out with a scream of something, and then something. It took 7 days for the security team to subdue the situation. All 3 employees present, including employee R, were confirmed dead. All plants were removed. Notice: repetition of this action will result in disciplinary action and termination.
Yeah, I definitely need to remember that.
Yes, thank you for letting me know.
No need to thank me.
Meanwhile, the section chief finished registering the equipment and retrieved the knife, placing it back into his suit pocket.
Generally, in the other slot you'd insert ordinary items, but in that case the supernatural characteristics may be weakly inherited, or in rare cases not inherited at all.
I nodded seriously, even though I already knew this.
I understand. I'll accept the result, no matter what.
I reached into my pocket and pulled something out.
Oh, so you did stop by the dorm earlier. Looks like you found something you want to use?
In my hand was a silver coin, the silver serpent coin, an item I had bought at a huge discount from the alien shop.
I plan to use this.
I'll just put an item in the other slot. I had quite a few supernatural items on hand. That's why I was so pleased when I found out the ghost story the field exploration team used was the Kind Seed Kit. I have more sources for items than most people. from the black notepad that gave out merch from the void to the alien shop. As soon as I stepped into this room, I had been mentally running through my lineup of items. And the one with the highest grade is... I rolled the round coin with the snake engraving in my hand. It's the most expensive when you consider the original price. Besides, considering that Section Chief Lee Jae-hyun's butter knife was for resource supply, I hoped that this currency would create some interesting synergy. I brought the coin close to the machine. The lizard's pupils widened as they saw the silver glint.
A commemorative coin. I bought it as a souvenir during a trip, but it just felt right.
Did he realize it was an item? It didn't matter. This is a world where encountering ghost stories is commonplace. It's not too far-fetched for someone to unknowingly carry a supernatural object. It's a small, everyday item.
It looks easy to carry. Seems like a good fit.
I listened to my superior's words of encouragement as I completed the scan.
Plant information stored.
Oh, now we're at the final step.
Please provide the gardener's information.
That's why it's called custom equipment. I don't know what effect it has, but apparently it requires the genetic information of the gardener who will tend to the plant. This step seems to have different effects depending on various factors. Though conflicted, I completed the scan.
Information confirmed combining genetic information.
Colored smoke billowed from the machine, accompanied by the creaking sound of gears turning. The front drawer of the machine opened, revealing a small object. It looked like a toy coin you'd use in an arcade. Its shiny surface bore the engraving of a glove on the front. I carefully reached out and picked up the item. It was my first piece of custom equipment. I headed straight back to the company dormitory afterward.
Get some rest, and we'll see you tomorrow.
My superiors also left, saying that it seemed they didn't want to make me do something stupid like test the equipment's abilities while still recovering from entering the darkness. I sat on my bed and took out both coins. One was the silver serpent coin I had used as the parent plant. The other was the gray coin that had been created by combining the silver serpent and the section chief's butter knife. Everything was great. But then...
How do I activate this?
It wasn't moving at all. Now that I think about it, the silver serpent coin wasn't exactly an item with explicitly stated supernatural powers either. Could this toy coin, which looks like it should be used as currency, really be the equipment I got? Sweat began to form on my forehead. Fortunately, my worries were soon dispelled. I tried a classic action. I flicked the coin with my thumb. At that moment, the glove engraved on the front of the coin popped out, becoming real. A translucent silver glove appeared in midair. The glove moved as if miming, writing something in the air. It's asking for a coin? I rummaged through my wallet and pulled out a 101 coin, offering it to the glove, but the glove rejected it. Is it asking for a different currency? Or perhaps I offered a 501 coin. The hand happily accepted the coin, slipped it between its fingers, and vanished with a magical gesture. Was it about the amount? This equipment operates strictly on capitalist logic. As I stared in disbelief, the translucent glove floated toward my hand and merged with it, as if it were being worn. A strange sensation washed over me. In front of me, a shadow-like projection of my hand appeared. It moved according to my will. I could push against walls, open bathroom doors, even write with it. Its strength and precision are about the same as mine. In summary, if I feed it a coin, it becomes a telekinetic third hand that can move for a few seconds. The range is roughly about 3 meters.
If 501 gets me 5 seconds, that's not bad.
Soon after, the shadow hand disappeared, and the translucent glove smoothly detached itself from my hand. With a wave, as if bidding me farewell, it re-engraved itself onto the front of the coin. This isn't a tool that overcomes spatial limitations between ghost stories and reality, like the section chief's butter knife. But in exchange, it feels like I have a wider operational range within a ghost story itself, making it seem quite versatile. Of course, there's the limitation of how many 501 coins I can carry in my suit while running around. But this is a successful pull. It's great that the coin didn't reveal itself as a supernatural item and just blended in.
Work hard for the 1,000 points I invested.
I pocketed the coin alongside my other items. While I was at it, I restocked my used-up smiley sticker and grabbed another can. Humans really are creatures of adaptation. I lay down on the bed. Surprisingly, I felt pretty good. Even though closing my eyes brought back vivid images of that terrifying talk show, I could sleep decently as long as the lights were on. Maybe it's because the situation ended well. I did have some decent luck. My squad assignment worked out well too. Maybe because I earned so many points at once, things feel a bit hopeful. Sleepiness started to wash over me, and I blinked slowly. But then again, I still had a mountain of points to earn for that wish ticket, and I had no idea how many more ghost stories I'd need to clear. Still, for the first time, I felt like I might be able to survive through it. Maybe I can quietly endure this. That naive optimism lasted until only the next day, when I arrived at work and saw a company notice.
Wow, a new recruit on their second day clears an A-class crisis.
Ro, have a seat. It looks like your position is about to change.
I've only been working here for 3 days, though. In other words, a change in the tasks or department where someone primarily works. This typically happens when you've been with a company for several years. So, it's definitely not something you say to someone who's only been here for 3 days.
A position change. Does that mean I'll be transferred to a different department?
I was desperately holding back from saying, "What are you talking about right after lunch?" and instead asked politely.
Well, actually, yeah. Did you see the notice? It just went up.
With a sinking feeling, I immediately checked the company intranet.
Cuter WD-43 is the Tuesday quiz show. Wow. A team solved a special incident in a D-class ghost story and extracted A-class essence. Now that's impressive. We'll be awarding a total of 100,000 points to the team. You saw that, right? You can do it too. Forget work-life balance, work like a beast, and earn those points. Be like D-Squad.
And right there, clearly listed as the key contributor receiving 40,000 points, was my name, Kim Soleum. I wish this were a dream. If this notice was what caused my position to change, then I felt a chill seeing the assistant manager's hollow expression.
D-Squad. Well, we achieved something unusual this time.
Does that mean the entire squad is being reassigned?
Not exactly. It just means the type of work we'll be doing is changing.
Assistant manager Yoon downed her coffee in one gulp.
Up until now, we've mostly been assigned to manage ghost stories with completed manuals. Now they want us to handle ghost stories without completed manuals.
In other words, they're going to throw us into ghost stories with no data.
Seriously, just because we did well this one time, they're shoving us into even harder situations.
Supervisor Park was already slumped over his desk, seemingly aware of the news. Even the caffeine seemed ineffective. And right on cue, the squad leader with the lizard head walked into the office. Assistant manager Yoon immediately snapped.
Squad leader. They want us to go into ghost stories without manuals. Are they trying to get us all killed?
No, not at all.
Perhaps there was a loophole, as a faint glimmer of hope appeared on the assistant manager's face.
Even if the manual is complete, there's no guarantee of safety.
Oh, that's what he meant. What a pragmatic lizard this guy is. I barely managed to speak up.
But isn't it more dangerous without a manual? There's no data to rely on.
The lizard tilted his head slightly to the side.
I'm not sure. I haven't noticed much of a difference.
Ah, right. He's the guy who exercises things with brute force. So, you've been bulldozing through everything up until now. I decided to ask directly.
Is there any advantage to the current situation?
What kind of advantage?
Additional points are awarded.
Supervisor Park suddenly lifted his head. Typical of people obsessed with points.
How much more, squad leader?
On average, 2 to 3 times more compared to ghost stories of similar grades.
What's the highest multiplier you've seen, squad leader?
Suddenly, the assistant manager and the supervisor's eyes changed. That's the look of stock traders. It was the same expression people have right before they buy into a speculative biotech stock based on rumors. It seems the allure of 30,000 points was too sweet to resist. Normally, someone with common sense would try to stop this, but, well, to be honest, for me, it's basically guaranteed returns. There's not much difference whether there's a manual or not. I already know more detailed information from the exploration records than any manual could provide. It's like a triple points event, right? And so, a short while later, Without any resistance, D-Squad accepted the new assignment and set off. Let's earn those points. Our destination was the 17th floor.
From the 20th to the 17th floor, it's mostly used by the development headquarters. And the 17th floor is where the researchers who scout for new darkness work.
As the elevator doors opened, a white artificial-looking office space typical of a combined laboratory and office came into view. Standing there, already waiting for us, was someone who extended their hand.
Ah, wow, is this the friend I've been hearing about? Awesome, just awesome.
Definitely someone above my rank. I reflexively shook the outstretched hand.
I'm Kim Soleum. Nice to meet you.
Oh, you've got good manners, too.
The man in a white lab coat and glasses looked fairly young, but considering the strange nature of this world, I decided not to jump to conclusions based on appearances. After greeting the rest of D-Squad, the man turned back to me.
I'm Kwak Jaekong from Research Team 1. Nice to meet you. Looking forward to working with you.
I look forward to working with you too.
Don't worry, he's just a section chief.
Aren't you just an assistant manager? But that wasn't what surprised me. I recognized this person. Researcher Kwak Jaekong, an employee from Research Team 1 in the Raw Materials Development Department of Daydream Inc., frequently mentioned in the early records of explorations into newly registered darkness. Another named character appeared. His personality, though. One of the few employees described as cheerful and sociable. I quietly followed the squad without revealing my thoughts.
We'll be seeing each other often from now on, right? Section Chief Lee Jae-hyun?
Finally, the lizard explained.
Research Team 1 studies and standardizes methods for entering new darkness. So, you'll frequently meet D-Squad, as you'll be the ones exploring the new darkness that hasn't yet been documented.
In short, they're the team that assigns us our work. They find new darkness here and pass it on to the Field Exploration Team's Advance Unit.
Oh, come on. You always explain things in such a difficult way, Section Chief Lee. And you're not even a researcher.
The research team's section chief patted the lizard's section chief on the back. The lizard's unblinking pupils shifted toward him as if confused. It kind of felt like watching a thriller movie.
Anyway, today's darkness is ready for you to enter. Don't forget your Dream Essence collector, all right?
Assistant Manager Yoon's face briefly flashed an expression like, "Why is this guy from another department telling us the obvious?" But Supervisor Park's frantic hand gestures stopped her from speaking out loud.
Check the records of ordinary people who went in and came out, as well as the team that previously entered.
Section Chief Lee Jae-hyun took the documents from the research team. Meanwhile, someone tapped me on the shoulder. I turned to find a grinning researcher talking to me.
Hey, do you want to bet on whether it's D-Class or F-Class? We like to play small bets among ourselves. You should try it. It's fun.
Is this guy out of his mind? What if they get audited? And this guy's talking gambling right in front of his boss. I glanced at the research team's section chief reflexively, but this researcher shrugged.
It's no big deal. It's not like someone's going to die because of a little bet. Ha ha. Oh, look at that. Your expression didn't even change. You've got guts, Soleum C.
Isn't this crossing the line for a workplace? It's certainly fitting behavior for a researcher in a world based on creepypastas. I was too dumbfounded to control my facial muscles.
Just kidding. The darkness we're dealing with today isn't life or death serious. A lot of regular people escaped from it, though the planning team did have a hard time covering up all the fuss the Disaster Management Bureau made about it.
When none of D-Squad's members responded, the Research Team 1 section chief just smiled and organized the remaining documents. The researcher who had been talking about bets looked over at us with a sneer, crossed his arms, and took on a casual, spectator-like stance. Is it really okay to act like that at work? I wasn't feeling great about it, but it's not like work in this company is ever exactly pleasant. What mattered now was the darkness we'd been assigned. What kind of ghost story was it?
Oh, Ro, you should take a look too.
I took the documents my superior handed me. I bet it's something I'm familiar with. And considering many civilians had escaped, it seemed like it wouldn't be too bad. At worst, maybe a D-class story? I should be able to handle it without too much trouble. So no need to panic.
Ro, did you read this? Something about portraits of clowns? Oh, if you see a clown ad, you get pulled in?
No way, it couldn't be.
Dark Exploration Records, Ghost Story. The Clown Hates You. A ghost story featured in Daydream Inc. identification code, QWD210. It involves an endless hallway lined with various clown portraits, where people are doomed to wander forever. Upon closer inspection, the portraits aren't of actual clowns, but grotesquely twisted people forced into clown-like appearances, with distorted grins. The longer you stay, the more distorted and bizarre the portraits become. Those who go missing in this ghost story become new clown portraits. This is a rare, full-blown horror movie-style ghost story in terms of exploration records.
I scanned the exploration record with trembling eyes. A full-on horror theme, way scarier than the convenience store ghost.
Haha, well, let's head in then.
Forget the triple points event, just cancel it. I don't want to go in. But of course, in society, words like that don't really fly. I opened my eyes. Before me was a dark, pitch-black hallway. No, more like a corridor, just as gloomy as my future. The walls were plastered with grotesque clown portraits, each bearing twisted, unsettling expressions.
The method for entering this place was terrifying from the start. 1. Watch a YouTube ad featuring a clown with a red nose laughing maniacally while staring directly at the viewer. 2. In any enclosed indoor hallway, a clown's hand suddenly appears from around a corner. 3. If you get too close, it grabs your wrist and pulls you into this hallway.
I nearly passed out just from that part. I looked around nervously. The exploration records played vividly in my mind, warning me of all the terrifying things that would happen no matter which wall I approached. Cold sweat trickled down my back. Honestly, anyone would be scared of this place, not just me.
It's not that dark. We probably don't need to turn on our flashlights.
Section Chief, shouldn't we wait until our eyes adjust to the dark?
Right. Close your eyes for 60 seconds.
Yes, sir!
To calmly suggest closing our eyes for a full minute in a dark hallway filled with unsettling clown portraits?
Ro, close your eyes too.
I guess that's the plan. I pretended to close my eyes, but instead stared at the floor, sweat pouring down my face. I just realized something. They're basically immune to fear. Unless it's a life-threatening situation, their threshold for fear is absurdly high. They're the kind of people who would say things like, "The scariest thing in life is people," and find horror movies boring. Well, that's probably why they work here. But no matter how brave they are, surely they wouldn't be able to stay so calm if those grotesque portraits started moving.
If you get too close to the portraits or stab them, sometimes they crawl out and chase after you.
Oh, right. When that happens, the painting becomes empty, and a few people have used that as a way to escape back to reality.
Stab every portrait you see.
Yes, sir. If anything comes to life, I'll signal and run immediately.
Yes. We'll repeat the attempt every hour.
Oh, did it say they crawl? That's good. Less mobility.
Exactly. Oh, Ro, I noticed earlier. There's a clown with strange eyes over there on the left. Looks just like a movie poster, doesn't it?
It resembles the description of a missing civilian. I guess when you go missing here, you end up like that.
I couldn't help but look up. In the eerie darkness, there was a portrait of a clown, with a button for one eye, smeared in colorful clown makeup, bearing a forced, toothy grin. I was sure of it. The pupil of its remaining eye just shifted.
Ro, want to try touching that one first?
No, please, just stop. Why did I say yes? I can't even go near it. A strong sense of foreboding hit the back of my neck. If I keep matching the tempo of these lunatics, I won't survive here.
So Ro will start with the upper left portrait.
I think I've figured out the right way to escape.
It's been less than a minute since we got here, but anyway, I've figured it out. Just trust me.
I deduced it from reading the records of civilian escapees.
Has my brain ever worked this fast before? I can't let these fearless maniacs take the lead.
First, we must not touch the other portraits.
Because I'm terrified, that's why. But my mouth said something different.
There must be a specific correct answer.
Is this what survival instinct feels like? I immediately pulled out the toy coin from my equipment and summoned the translucent glove into the air. Then, I handed over 2,501 coins to the glove as if I were dumping them on a big-time YouTuber. The glove froze for a second, like it was in shock from the generous donation, then happily spun around in the air before merging with my hand.
Wait, is that your equipment, Ro?
Yes, It allows me to remotely touch objects.
At least now I didn't have to approach the clown portraits and touch them myself. But I pretended I had a different plan, nodding seriously as if deep in thought.
From now on, I want to run and see as many portraits as possible. We need to find the correct one.
I looked at Section Chief Lee Jae-hyun.
And starting now, the portrait I describe will be the correct one. If you spot it, please tell me immediately. Is that okay?
If this works, I won't have to examine each and every clown portrait myself. Of course, if he responds with, "Who's this rookie to boss us around?" it's all over. But Section Chief Lee didn't seem like the type to be obsessed with authority, even though he had a lizard's head. And maybe even thinks like a lizard. Relief coursed down my spine, almost making my legs give out. But I held on, nodding as if everything was still under control.
Then I'll start running.
I acted as if I were testing out some brilliant new hypothesis, one that required running to test properly, though it's actually not necessary at all. Escaping from here is surprisingly simple. You can touch any portrait you want, and it won't affect finding the correct one. If you're brave enough, you could just stroll around casually and figure it out. But I had already learned my lesson. I learned the hard way during that game of tag with the ghost at the convenience store. What's the key to survival for a coward? Haunted house midway escape. Around the time Field Exploration Team's D Squad entered the ghost story.
Section Chief, what do you think the grade will be this time? D-class again, most likely?
Hey, Supervisor Lee, you should be more tactful about these things, yeah? It's fun and all, but let's keep it within the development department. Don't bring it up when other teams are around. Got it?
The research team supervisor, who had been grinning as he talked about betting with Kim Soleum, finally shut his mouth. How annoying. He had underestimated Section Chief Kwak Jae-kang, thinking he was young and easygoing, so it was unpleasant to be scolded over something.
The nerve of him staring down at his superiors.
He had tried to include the rookie in the bet, but the new hire had outright refused, looking completely unimpressed.
Kim Soleum, wasn't it? You're just a lab rat for human experiments, so where's your attitude coming from?
If you're a rookie in the field exploration team, half of your life is already forfeit. But seeing him act all stiff-necked just because he made some achievement, it was laughable. He had heard stories of clueless rookies every year, and now he was seeing one for himself.
Will he die? It'd be hilarious if he did.
His morally numb brain anticipated a rush of dopamine, making him salivate a bit at the thought. He quickly sent a message in the company's anonymous betting group chat.
I am betting 10 on D-class.
It was more than a bet, it was his hope. The chances of them dying would be much higher if it were D-class. Then a superior interrupted his thoughts.
Supervisor Lee, make sure the preliminary report is ready by the end of the day.
Not like the lab rats will make it out of the darkness before my shift ends anyway.
His boss was making him handle the kind of tasks he'd normally pass on to his junior during a shift change. Why did he have such bad luck with supervisors? Grumbling internally, the research team assistant supervisor continued writing the preliminary experiment report.
Adults over the age of 18 who have seen the 5-second video ad titled "The Clown Hates You" played as a promotion on a certain video platform.
After watching that, they approached the clown's hand, which then dragged them in, right? Isn't approaching something like that just stupid? If you see something suspicious, you should run away. From that point, it's already natural selection at work. But then there are the lucky civilians who manage to escape.
According to the testimonies of surviving civilians, they managed to return to reality by jumping into the empty portrait after a clown left.
The test subjects know that going in.
However, there wasn't any clear indication of which portrait was the right one. The hallway types, the sizes of the portraits, the frame designs, even the timing. It all varied. It seemed that most people who escaped had simply jumped into the empty portraits by chance and got lucky.
Finding the correct portrait is going to be a real grind.
The darkness required a lot of stamina, with people having to wake up clowns, evade them, and sometimes even fight them off. At the same time, not knowing which portrait was the right one must have been nerve-wracking. At least 1 or 2 deaths were practically guaranteed in this scenario. They'd probably make sacrifices as they tested out different portraits.
For someone to escape, it'll take at least half a day, maybe even a few days.
The researcher turned his head. From the corner of the lab, a group of people suddenly poured in. It was the entire field exploration Team D squad.
Is the Dream Essence collector full?
Yes! Oh, it's D class!
He reflexively checked his watch. They entered at 2:15 p.m. Only 26 minutes had passed since they entered. Seeing the 4 members of D Squad emerge from the ghost story in less time than it would take for a quick coffee break, a heavy silence settled over Research Team 1's office.
Are we the ones trapped in a ghost story?
My goodness. How did you all get out so quickly? Section Chief, did you smash your way through again?
Kwak Jae-kung's admiration was met with an immediate response. Kwak Jae-kung's gaze shifted to the D Squad superiors speaking in unison.
Nice to see you again.
The rookie who had quietly been standing at the back bowed his head.
This friend did it?
The unspoken question, "Isn't he just a rookie?" was met with a casual reply.
Ro was on his first day, too.
The assistant manager and supervisor of D Squad didn't say anything more and began organizing their equipment. Section Chief Lee Jae-hyun nodded.
This ghost story is D-class.
Ah, yes, of course.
Section Chief Lee Jae-hyun promptly started his report. Kwak Jae-kang, accustomed to his efficiency-driven, stream-of-consciousness style, responded right away.
So, what's the clear mechanism?
The rookie raised his hand from the back.